Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Dan Reviews It. My name is Dan, and this is more than I feel like just a review. This is a show that we're going to call In Defense of the Mummy. This movie has gotten just slashed by critics. It was 20% on Rotten Tomatoes a couple of days ago. I looked earlier today and it was 17%, and now as I'm recording this video it's 16%. So critics are just thrashing this movie, and I've heard from several people personally that also didn't really like it. But what's funny is I posted on my own Facebook page that I kind of liked The Mummy, and there were a lot of comments that said the same thing, that said, you know what, yeah, it actually was pretty good. So here's the deal with The Mummy. First of all, this is the new version that's going to start Universal's Dark Monsters series. They're going to do The Bride of Frankenstein next. That's going to be in early 2019. But this is the first one to lead the charge. I thought maybe Dracula Untold was also part of that, but apparently it's not. So this is to be, the starting ground. And so in this movie, we've got Tom Cruise playing Nick Morton, who is a former U.S. military officer, and him and Jake Johnson from The New Girl plays, kind of his sidekick, and they end up unearthing the tomb of Princess Amenet, played by Sophia Boutella. Not familiar, but she did a pretty good job in the movie. And so basically she rises and puts a curse on Nick, the Tom Cruise character, and then you've also got an investigator, Annabelle Wallis plays her, an archaeologist who obviously, has her own reasons for wanting to figure out what's going on with the curse and everything. And then you also have Russell Crowe, who ends up, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, I'm not sure, but he ends up playing Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, the first scene you meet him, he introduces himself as Jekyll, so right away you're like, okay, Jekyll and Hyde. Obviously, another, I guess Universal has the rights to that character too, so they're going to do, a Jekyll and Hyde movie perhaps, I don't know. But there's a lot of criticism about this movie. Some of it talks about the direction of the movie. I don't usually read reviews before I do my own videos, because I like to have, kind of my own opinions, but I wanted to see what I was missing. Like, why is everybody so down on this movie? A lot of people are talking about the tone of the film. A lot of people are talking about Tom Cruise's acting being just kind of wooden and just showing up for the paycheck. The script being terrible, and a lot of stuff like that. I can say that some of that maybe is where I was thinking, but a lot of it, not really. So let's start with Tom Cruise, I guess. Now, I like this guy as an actor. He's made, some of the great action movies, really the last, 15, 20 years. The Mission Impossible series is great. I loved Edge of Tomorrow. I thought Oblivion was good. The first Jack Reacher was good. There's some I haven't seen. I didn't see War of the Worlds. So there's a few in there I've missed, but of the ones I've seen, I really think Cruise is a great actor, and he's a great action star, and the fact that he does all his own stunts is cool. It's talked about most with the Mission Impossible series, but he's doing some cool things here as well. So I didn't find his acting to be wooden or whatever certain other critics are saying. I thought he was pretty good in the role. I thought the humor was there, especially there's a patter with between him and Johnson that's funny, and Johnson's character is really only in it sporadically after that first scene or two. But whenever he's in it, they have a good back and forth. Jake Johnson, as an aside, is one of the better parts of the movie too. I thought he did a great job. It's weird, seeing him kind of outside of New Girl, but he shows up every now and then in different movies of more action. I mean, obviously he's done comedies too, Let's Be Cops and movies like that, but he's shown up in more dramatic or action roles as well, and I think typically he's very good, so I thought he was good here. But no, Cruise, I thought, was pretty on point. Now, I will say, the last Jack Reacher movie, Never Go Back, I gave an F. It probably didn't deserve it, but we get so many just run-of-the-mill cut and paste action movies every single year, that it was like in this string of like The Accountant had just come out, all these movies that were not too similar, I guess, but just on the basis of them being action movies that I think are kind of lazily done, and just the script was horrible for Jack Reacher. So anyway, I gave it an F, and so compared to that, like, I thought he was sleepwalking through that. Like, that to me, Tom Cruise is getting a paycheck for this movie, let's end it. Here, I thought he was, engaging, and I liked the character he was playing. The classic kind of smarmy, unlikable guy, but, you still root for him because, well, he's cursed from the mummy, and nobody deserves that kind of thing. That's another thing I was seeing in a lot of these negative reviews. The characters, who cares about the characters? They're, unrelatable, and they're terrible, badly written, and I mean, yeah, they're kind of stock, I suppose, but this is an action movie. I don't think we're necessarily looking for the most, the most deep characters that there are. No, it's just an action movie. There's a love story here with him and the archaeologist that I think is okay. They have, some funny scenes with that. So let's move on to some of the other criticisms. The tone of the movie. Now, here's one I will say. The tone does jump around a little bit in the film. Is it an action movie? Is it a broad comedy, where they're trying to sort of poke fun at action movies? Is it a horror movie? There's a few horror elements in this movie. I jumped a couple of times and got genuinely scared. I would say at least once, maybe twice. Because visually, David Kurtzman, the director, did a pretty good job of sort of getting that that mood. It's a dark movie, and I mean, lighting wise, it's definitely not Guardians of the Galaxy here, with the bright colors. It's definitely a bit dark. They're in tombs for some of the movie, and when they're not, they're in darkened rooms. So. But that's kind of the point of it, So I didn't think that was really an issue. But I will say, yes, the tone jumps around a little bit. So that was possibly one issue. Another issue I did have with it was the Crow character. I thought introducing Jekyll and Hyde was a little bit cheap, I guess, a little bit easy maybe. I understand that Universal wants to expand the universe and the mythos and everything. Now, they have Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know. What was it really necessary? That was probably my least favorite part of the film, if I'm being honest. So what else? I thought, visually, again, to go back to the directing, I thought the visuals for the movie were really cool. There were some cool scenes. The one thing I will say visually that maybe didn't always work was there's a lot of, I can't even really call them flashbacks. They're sort of just like in Tom Cruise's, mental state as he's under the curse. We see, desert scenes and some other sequences. I'm not sure how that all flowed, if that was that well done, I'll be honest. So that was certainly a negative as well. But I had a good time watching this movie. I don't think I really got bored with it. It comes in at a pretty brisk hour and 52 minutes. So it's not quite get in, get out, but it's not as long as, a lot of the superhero movies that are out there that sometimes are a smidge too long. I think an hour and 50 minutes or so is perfect for a movie like this. Does it reinvent the wheel? Of course not. Does it compare to the Brendan Fraser version? That's going to be open to interpretation, I think. I think there's a lot of love for the Brendan Fraser version of The Mummy. And I guess the sequels as well in some respects. But this is, I think, a different take on it. I personally, as an actor, I think I would like I like Tom Cruise as an actor more than I like Brendan Fraser. I think Brendan Fraser, has done a lot of good work, more in the silly camp, I guess. Although he's done some serious stuff, going back to School Ties and With Honors and some of those from the 90s. But, lately anyway, it's been a lot of more George of the Jungle-y type things, and Furry Vengeance and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoy seeing Cruise on screen more than I enjoy seeing Brendan Fraser, for one thing. But I think everybody, kind of was working on this movie and put their heart into it. I don't think anybody was kind of dragging their feet. And I think that was an issue with some of the reviewers were saying, oh, Tom Cruise is wooden and the director didn't know what he was doing. And I think that they made the movie they wanted to make, and I, for one, enjoyed it. Now, is it amazing? Of course not. And I wouldn't have expected it to be. But I think to say that, for it to have 20% or less on Rotten Tomatoes, I think is very harsh. I really do. It is a slight positive grade for me. I give The Mummy a B-. So take that for what it's worth. There's a lot of videos up on the channel now. Soon we're going to be starting Mulder Mondays, taking a look at X-Files episodes, and also Sunnydale Stories, which is going to be the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and possibly eventually Angel, if we have time for that. Merlin is going to be joining me for those reviews, so those will be up soon. There's also standalone reviews for Pirates of the Caribbean 5, Baywatch, Snatched. Soon I'll be putting up my May wrap up. I know June's already half over, but I want to get this one up first for The Mummy since it is so fresh. And Wonder Woman's certainly going to be reviewed as well. I'm not sure if Merlin's going to join me for that or if that's going to be a standalone, but I saw Wonder Woman, and so I definitely want to talk to you guys about that. But subscribe to the channel and check us out on Facebook. Dan Reviews It is the name of the page. And thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here again next time. Bye.